Good morning, everyone. So one of the earlier simanims, the last of the earlier ones that I completed the other day because it was a little bit long, siman nun gimel, which discusses the law of the ladle. So we know that there is kli Rishon, kli Sheni, kli Shlishi with regards to, let's say, making a tea. So you have, or let's say a soup. So you have the pot that it's on the fire, it's on the source of heat, that, and it was cooked in, it's still on the source of heat on Shabbat, that's your kli Rishon. And then I take from there to my bowl, that should be a kli Sheni, and etc. Now, the way I take it out is with a ladle. So does the ladle constitute as a kli Sheni, and now my bowl is a kli Shlishi, or is that ladle like an extension of the kli Rishon? So there's a few things over here. Everybody agrees that if the ladle is sitting in the soup the entire time when the soup was boiling up, it was in there and it's still boiling hot, and this ladle is in there, it's a kli Rishon. It's an extension of the soup. So now that even though I use it to lift it out and pour it into my bowl, it's still like the first vessel, an extension of the first vessel. But the machloket is, what if, it's two things. What if it's in there, but it wasn't in there in the time of boiling? It's still, though, hanging out in the pot. Rishon Masas says that's an extension of the kli Rishon, and it sounds like Rabbi Ovadia Yosef and others would maybe say that that's a kli Sheni, meaning even though it's still hanging around in the pot, but it wasn't in the time of boiling. So maybe it's a little bit less. But here is the other part of the machloket, where Rabbi Shalom Asas takes a stringent approach. The way to make it a kli Sheni, because it's easy to use your ladle when it's a kli Sheni, is what you do is you keep it outside of the pot, on a plate, let's say, and now you want to serve someone, so it's cold, it's been sitting outside for a couple of minutes. Take it, stick it into your soup, give the soup to someone, and then you put it back outside. So that Rabbi Ovadia Yosef and most of the poskim say that that's a kli Sheni at that point, because it wasn't in the pot when it was heated, or it wasn't sitting in the pot for a while. There, it still seems like Rabbi Shalom Asas would say it's a kli Rishon, because I'm still digging into that kli Rishon, and it's like an extension of it. So that is a stringent. That's his approach, and it's a stringent approach in this situation. It would come to so like what would be the difference? So number one is, let's say with tea. So we usually have tea from an urn, but let's say you have a yeshiva or a place that has a big teapot or a big tea, like actual pot, and the way they do it is by scooping out with a ladle. So in that situation, you anyways want to get to a kli Shlishi, so that ladle makes a big difference if it's considered a kli Sheni or a kli Rishon. Or let's say there are those that are machmir, and maybe it's a good idea to. Let's say you get a bowl of soup. You finish your bowl of soup on Shabbat. Now you want a second bowl, but there's some droplets in there. Now those droplets got cooled down. So what's going to happen is, when I put from my hot soup now on these droplets, there's a concept of yesh bishul achar bishul b'davar lach. There is recooking on something that's liquidy. That was a liquid, and now it's cold. Now you're heating it up again. So if I take it though from a kli to kli Shlishi, then you're okay. So it's ideal that your ladle is going to be considered a kli Sheni. My soup is kli Rishon, ladle is kli Sheni. Now this is a kli Shlishi, so it makes things easier. The general poskim are lenient in this case. I wouldn't say lenient. It seems like in this case, Rabbi Shalom Asas is a little bit more machmir, where the ladle that's sitting outside and just used to scoop in and then remaining outside is considered a kli Sheni. Rabbi Shalom Asas is machmir, and if you want to go with that, then what you should, and that's what he says. He says you should always take your ladle, put it into another cup or bowl, and then from that bowl pour it into your other bowl. That's what he says to do. What? No, one ladle to another ladle. That's not going to work. Yeah. Okay, that's that for today. Mincha tonight at 7:05. Have a good day, everyone. Soccer game at 10 o'clock.